And we'll return to Kumasi. This was earlier this morning when Nana Asenso spoke to Roland Walker and Mamavi on the AM show. We'll go live to Kumasi to find out what is happening elsewhere. Asenso will join us again. But the director of the Ayawaso East Municipal Education Directorate, Ramatu Gariba, says she will give the reopening of schools for senior high schools in the assembly a rate of 60% as far as success is concerned. In an interview with JoyNews at the Nima cluster of schools where the distribution of PPEs is ongoing, the various schools, she stated, the Education Directorate will continue with an effective monitoring of all 29 schools within the assembly to ensure all health protocols are respected. Maxwell Abdullah has more.
We are currently here at the Nima cluster of schools, and the Nima cluster of schools is the place where the distribution of COVID-19 and PPEs is actually taking place. So you find heads of institution driving here and then coming for their PPE. You find face masks, you'd also find hand sanitizers, there's liquid soap. Some of them would also come for Veronica buckets. All of these are parts of the items being distributed here. When they come here, they first of all would have to register. And when they register, they are given the PPEs and the other equipment needed to fight COVID-19, even as the junior high schools, final year students go back to school. We are privileged to have with us here Hajia Ramatu Gariba, who is the director for the Ayawaso East Education Directorate. Let's get closer to her and find out from her more about this exercise. She's in the thick of affairs herself, and she's been here since morning. Hajia, you're welcome to JoyNews.
Thank you so much.
Hajia, Ayawaso East Municipal Education Directorate, how many schools are under your jurisdiction?
We have 29, both public and private schools.
Okay.
12 public schools that have GHS, and then 17 of the private schools.
Okay.
In all, 29.
Okay. So what items are being distributed right now?
All the PPEs are being distributed right now. We distributed Veronica buckets last week. So you can see today we are not distributing Veronica buckets, but we are giving sanitizers, the nose masks, tissue, soap, thermometer guns.
Okay.
So almost everything is being distributed today.
Okay. And this is going to all public and private institutions?
Yes, public and private.
Okay. Yeah. And we are told that these classes are supposed to ensure social distancing in the class, and each class is not supposed to take more than 30 students, we understand. Yeah. What mechanisms have been put in place to ensure that the schools adhere to this directive? We know of the high numbers in a lot of our public schools.
Fortunately, Ayawaso East, we don't have that problem. We have space, okay, and we also have furniture. Fortunately, our MCE gave us over 1,000 furniture last term. So furniture is not a problem. The space too is not a problem because Form 1 and 2 are not coming. So we have space and we have the furniture. So as for the social distance, we don't have problem. Some are even going to be less than 30 in a class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But touch wood. Should we have a case of coronavirus? What mechanisms have been put in place? What health mechanisms have been put in place to ensure the safety of other students?
Well, we have our SHEP coordinators, and this morning, after the distribution, we have the health director coming to talk to all of them, and she will spell out all the modalities. All the schools, public and private, have been aligned to clinics. Okay. And they will be taking care of their temperature, and regularly they will be monitored. So I think that one too is well catered for. The health director is willing and ready, and some few private clinics too, nearer to the schools, are going to take part in helping to help this issue. Okay. So I think that one too is cool. It's fine.
What about schools that would run out of the PPEs that you're distributing today? What happens?
Fortunately, we have some. Assembly has given us, government has given us some. Okay. So we have some left, and if they are running out, we'll see how best we can help to get extra for them. The soap and the water is more important, and we'll always have water. Soap too is not too difficult to get. and maybe somehow Assembly to support. Yeah, I know. They gave us some and they are willing to support. So maybe we can just keep the extra for that time. In case some school is getting short, we shall be going around monitoring. We'll go around the schools and we'll be checking all those things. For the face masks, there's no problem. They are reusable. Yeah, the only problem is the tissue and then the soap. And I think Assembly is willing to help us out here.
Okay. So I want to find out, what's your assessment of the reopening? You've been around, you've been going around, and you're even here helping in the distribution of the PPEs. What do you think? What's your assessment of the reopening in this municipal assembly?
Well, I think it's okay. We were expecting that Monday would rather be settled in class, but unfortunately we are doing this today. Apart from that, I think that's fine. Tomorrow when you come, I believe, even getting to afternoon, I believe you will see them in class. Okay. Yes. Okay. So far so good. It's not bad. At least we are 60% plus on track.
Yes. Okay. Finally, before you go, what about the students, some of them who, will not keep their face mask, on? What happens to them? What have you been telling you?
We are going to insist on that. Okay. We are going to insist on that. Anyone coming at the gate, the security man is there. We are leaving some nose masks there. If you are coming, you don't have, he gives it to you there before you enter. And the thermometer gun too is going to be there. At least for those, they are not coming in numbers, so he can take the temperature. We'll train him to take the temperature. And I think today the medical director too is going to do that. And we will encourage them. We have told most of the people that when they come, they should encourage them. Everybody should keep his nose mask intact. You don't cover just your mouth and leave your nose or bring it down your chin. We will let them see how important it is. It's for their health and for the health of others, so they have to keep it. And we will encourage them to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go live to the Ashanti region now, where my colleague Nana Yaojima is standing by with information from the St. Luanda JHS. Nana, what can you report from where you are?
I'm currently here at St. Luanda JHS. And before getting here, we started somewhere around 6:30 a.m. We started our monitoring from MA Basic. And then we JHS. And all the schools that we monitored, the time that we got.
Apologies, we have challenges with that feed there. Once we have a good connection to Nana Senso Mensa, we'll go back to Kumasi and bring you that report from the St. Luanda school and how schools in the region are preparing for today as they reopen. Now, in the Techiman North District Assembly, they are in collaboration with the Ghana Education Service organizing a stakeholder meeting with heads of junior high schools in order to sensitize and educate them on the need to adhere to COVID-19 protocols. Correspondent Anasabit has more.
With junior high schools set for reopening for final year pupils in preparation for the 2020 BECE exams, schools in the Techiman North District of the Bono East region have been taken through an orientation exercise to get the teaching staff ready for academic activities. District Director of Education, Ms. Teresa Kwebu, shares with JoyNews what informed the decision to bring the heads of the various schools together.
Schools are resuming on the 29th of June, and I thought it wise to bring them together so that we remind ourselves of the protocol that we need to follow. Some of them emotionally are not prepared. Yesterday I went somewhere and they said, Madam, emotionally we are not prepared. So in order to allay their fears, I have to bring all of them together. So together we all remind ourselves of the various protocols that we need to put in place to ensure that we keep ourselves safe and we keep our students safe.
District Chief Executive for the area, Mr. Peter Mensah, indicated that the safety of the students remain key to the authorities as enough PPEs are being made available for distribution.
As I speak to you, enough PPEs have been made available and the district has taken deliveries of ours. People are being trained on how to monitor students to ensure that when symptoms are being exhibited by students, very proactive actions will be taken. Again, special eyes are going to be kept on the educational environment. So basically, concerns about the safety of the students, the anxiety and the nervousness of parents have already been addressed.
He called on the teaching staff to be motivated in order to support the candidates past their final exams.
The issue at hand is for teachers to equally have a special interest, be intrinsically be motivated as teaching being a chosen profession, so that the common objective of getting these students passed will be achieved.
Some of the participants lauded the assembly for the stakeholder engagements. Mr. Atakra Amaniampong is the headmaster of the Mesidine DA Junior High School.
Announcement was made by the president that we should go back to school on 29th. But we are a bit not that okay. How are you going? So for me, what you have done here today is a very good thing. So at least we know why, when you go to school, what we have to do. So for me, this has given us some encouragement, so that when we go there, at least we know what we can tell them.
For Mr. Ibrahim Tewia, who is the district's chairman of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools are usually neglected by authorities in terms of logistics. He is, however, confident that government will capture private schools this time around as promised.
Yeah, our major concern is the provision of logistics for the private schools, like chalk, books, and other things. We've always been neglected, but I think for this the government is going to take up, and I'm sure the government will do that too. Since it concerns human health, I think the government is going to do that.
Ms. Teresa is, however, optimistic that though the time towards the exams is limited, the students will be able to pass their final exams.
We want to monitor and see how teachers are teaching and how children are learning. I think that we're having a few, maybe small tests along the way to prepare them for the examination. And I think that we will succeed.
Reporting for JoyNews, Anas Sabit, Chobodom.
Meanwhile, most students who reported to school this morning in the Tamale metropolis do not have face masks. The few who have the face masks put them in their pockets. JoyNews' Martina Bugui joins us with the latest from what she's observed. Martina, which schools did you visit and exactly what did you see?
I visited the Kalpohini Junior High School cluster of schools. I visited the Lamashegu Zone Assembly School. I visited the Lamashegu JHS and the Zebeli JHS. Now, these schools, what you notice is that most of them do not have the face mask. Most of them were not practicing the protocols of social distancing. And most of them, the few that had the mask had either in their pockets or they had them around their chin. And so basically, this is what I observed in most of the schools. Now, I must say that in some of the schools, they don't have the Veronica buckets. They don't have water at all or soap to wash their hands. And so I spoke to some of the students, and they say that what they would need to do is to go to nearby homes to beg for water to wash their hands if need arises. Now, one other thing I noticed is that those who didn't have masks and saw me and wanted to speak to me, wanted to borrow from their friends and use and speak to me. And so these are some of the things that I noticed when I went through some of the schools.
And that is quite dangerous. But how about the teachers? Did you see them in school, and do they have any form of protective equipment?
At the Kalpohini cluster of schools, the teachers have not come yet. Okay. But in some of the other schools, they have teachers in school who had their face masks on. But some of the teachers said they could not speak to us because they've been asked not to speak to anybody. And so they were not ready to speak to us.
But what can you report about attendance?
For a school like the Zebeli Junior High School, the school is about 58, and we had about 52 students. Except Zegbebi, the rest of the schools that I visited, the attendance was very poor.
Martina, thank you very much. That's our Northern Region correspondent bringing us up to speed on the situation in the Tamale metropolis, where some students, a lot of them actually, she reports, do not have the face masks. And for those who have put them in their pockets, teachers are also yet to report and attendance is low. But the Information Minister Kojo Ponkuma says the distribution of PPEs, as promised by President Akufo-Addo, will be done to ensure safety of pupils at all schools across the country.